Welcome! Today we're using Hailuo AI within Poe. So if I click over, you can see we're in the app called Poe. And in Poe, I accessed it by going to Explore. I actually scrolled down, but to save you from seeing me scroll, I'm just going to type Hailuo and see what comes up. We want Hailuo live. And we are going to send a video to this by typing in, well, first we're actually going to send an image to this. And the image is one I took on my phone. I'm sending it here. And here's what it looks like for your context. What I want this AI to do is to generate a video of something rising up over the mountain here and then picking this building up. So that's my stated goal. Let's see if we can accomplish that in one prompt. So we know what the image looks like. We're going to tell Hailuo AI, here's the image, here's what I want to happen in the image, and then we're going to hit enter. So this is image, or let's just say a furry, fuzzy monster with a silly face, peaks over the far horizon of a city scene, then walks closer to pick up a white apartment building located front of an empty alley by a city street. That's all we're doing, is typing that and hitting enter. And then technically we're also waiting 300 seconds, because what it's going to do is now compute a bunch of different imagination scenes that represent the frames of this video, and then string those all together into a video I can watch and say yay or nay relative to what it produced. And as an example, I will show you what I recorded earlier today, and it's based on a single still image. We're going to look at a previous Hailuo AI chat that I made today on my phone. So is it this one, Cyborg Fight? Okay. So here it is, my first chat with this one, and I sent it to a different bot. Technically, this is Hailuo AI. The other one I sent to was Hailuo Live. As far as I can tell, they're both equally good. I haven't been able to figure out why one is better than the other, so I use them indiscriminately because they both cost the same in terms of compute points. Because on Poe, each of these costs a lot of compute points, these 4-second videos we're going to make. In Hailuo AI, I typed in with a picture the following prompt: cyborg device scuttles along the ground and toward the far distance, then deploys wings and flies away. The image that I uploaded was this still image I took of, I'm going to zoom in, what I think is like a PlayStation controller or some sort of maybe drone controller, because I think I'm seeing there are right and left trigger buttons and then there's like a thumbstick. So some sort of controller. I saw it on the ground. I thought it was cool looking, looked kind of like a rover or some sort of cyborg technology. So you can see it's a portrait-oriented vertical photo I took. And it's a macro image. The whole thing is maybe this big. The actual product and that's on the ground, and I gave it that prompt with that image about having it scuttles along the ground and then flies away, and it gave me this. Let's watch. And let's watch it again. I'm going to show you the next two prompts that I generated based on the final frame of each of these videos. I continued the video for another 4 seconds. So in principle, what you're seeing here is the first of 3 videos. And then about at that point where it crosses over and the bird bot flies away, I generated another video. This was done by taking a screenshot of the last frame of the video that I've just gotten, and then uploading that as our still photo reference frame for the next prompt. So the thing I then said should happen in our second section video of 3 parts to this was a flying white and grayish cyborg device with solar panel wings, flaps and flies up into the air away from the city environment, The device briefly leaves the camera's view, and then the camera pans to the right and reveals the device as flying over a busy freeway at rush hour, overcast day. I tried to rewrite things that are present in the image already so that it doesn't invent new stuff with its own idea of what this should look like. It wants to do as much as it can to adhere to your prompt. So tell it what's already in the image if you can, and you'll have better adherence to what you started with. So let's watch the camera do what it said. All right. Now it's a little improbable because, as you'll notice, the sidewalk kind of gives way there into a freeway overpass. But hey, we don't know the space that well. Maybe it is this way. But it basically just wipes away the first video image right here when it pans and creates a whole new environment. You can tell. And then what I did was take that final frame of this second video it generated, and it was pretty adherent. It had solar panel wings and stuff like that. It flew over a city freeway at rush hour. Everyone's going the same direction for some reason. This is a very interesting freeway system. And then the third frame that I gave it was this, where it's the last frame of the second video, and then it's that traffic still. And I told it the camera zooms along a busy freeway following a small flying white and gray cyborg device with solar cell wings. The device is speeding faster than we can keep up, and eventually it becomes a speck on the far distant horizon. Let's see what it thought about that concept. All right. I mean, I've already seen this before. Like, I saw it earlier when I got it on my phone and I was just messing around and like pressing buttons on the Poe app. This just was like so something else to me. So to me, this is the end of the video because it just veers off into crazy town. But the first two were very promising to me. This was the start of an interesting story, if you wanted it to be. And the rest of the story could be done with live action video. An overcast day's live action video could be the background for what's happening, and then you just input a few CGI invented scenes throughout. Let us look, because now we've seen what I did earlier, let us look at what our video we just set to making looks like. Oh, it ran into a problem. That happens. We'll hit retry and see what it does. And let's hedge our bets, because we can. We are now copying this, and we are opening a new, see how we're in Hailuo Live for this current video at generation? We're now going back to Hailuo Ai, the one I was using earlier today for this video. We're clearing our context so it doesn't try to think about past stuff I talked to it about, and we are hitting paste and adding the image of the wide shot and saying go. So what I mean by hedging our bets is apparently there are two Hailuo AIs effectively on Poe. I've sent the same prompt and the same exact image to both of them. So now we just kind of play the waiting game and we see what results. Hey, let's hear the plane landing. It's actually a plane taking off. Sorry to yell. This is directly overhead the San Diego, or below the San Diego airport. And on a rainy day, they're a single runway airport every day of the year, but on a rainy day they have to take off in the opposite direction, going up over the city to take off. Normally they're landing over the city. So it's just a different day to see planes in San Diego. You don't even see the planes on a windy day, or I'm sorry, on a foggy rainy day. You don't even see the planes because the fog is so low, there's just no visibility. That was a lot of talking, but I have 300 seconds to fill, right? How's the other one doing? Did it crack up yet? Okay. Sometimes you babysit these and that works out for the better. I'm interested. Let me work on my words for a second. I am interested to see what a fuzzy monster with a silly face looks like as he peeks over the far horizon of a city scene. And by the way, let's kind of deconstruct the point of what I said in that image. So first, I want him to. It's kind of like what I've learned with Hailuo AI and other video image to video AIs. The first image you start with, it's gonna stay with. So that first image is the image that starts the video. So basically, pretend that's frame one of a video clip that goes to I don't know how many. But the important thing is that you're giving it the first frame of your video. That's the concept to keep in mind. So build on that frame and tell it, the AI, in your prompt, what should happen as this frame is being shown to the audience. So for example, I want the monster in the horizon to be far off in the distance, peeking up and over, and then walking and getting bigger until he picks up this house. That was our stated goal. This house, this 3-story apartment building. And by the way, I did realize I spelled apartment wrong. That doesn't incentivize me to spell it better because I know the AI can figure it out. In fact, AIs are basically word spell checker engines by default. They're always figuring out what the heck you meant when you put those 2 characters next to each other. So closing this, let's see if we have a video. We do. It's on its side, but that's okay. We're going to download it so we get our first view of it first. Wide shot. And then let's open it. Let's see if we can rotate it just from here. Yes! Did that do it? I can't quite tell. Nope, we have to rotate it more. All right, let's rotate more, Apple. I'm sure this isn't making a bunch of like horrible recompressive effects on this. One more and we'll be there. Okay. Awesome. Let's see what our prompt looks like. Let me close this. That's one thing I wanted to do as I spoke more. I want to remove the phrase "lemme" and "I'm gonna." So I'm going to work on that. Let me work on that with you. Let's leave that open. Let us open the wide shot image and press play. Oh, here's something. It didn't know that the image I started with was a vertically oriented video. It did not figure that out in, which app was I in? Hailuo Live. It didn't intuit, he gave me a vertically oriented image, I should make an oriented video that way. Interesting to learn. Let's see if this one got us anywhere. Maybe my thing was off and it got confused. Let's look at this one. I'm going to download it and then we're going to rotate it in the same way. Wide to AI. You can see I don't have the best naming convention discipline. Rotate left 3 times. I guess if I was really smart, I'd learn the keyboard shortcut for that. I don't see one. Okay, now we watch. Let's get rid of that one, interesting as it was. Load it back up, see if it did the same thing. It did! We got a similar monster though, and he's talking to us. Well, I don't know what to do about this. It did the other one so well. Why did it wonk out about that one? Maybe I should feed it the raw HEIC image. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna do this. Copy. At least now we know what it thinks a fuzzy monster looks like. Copy, paste, and I'm gonna upload the image that is the original from my camera HEIC image, which I think it can work with. Yeah. Maybe this one contains the information that the AI needs to understand this is a vertically oriented video or image. And I'll hedge my bets again. Clear context. We're learning together, you and I, internet. I'm still not going to change the wording or the spelling on that last whatever thing. The apartment. I'm leaving that as is. And so now we kind of enter, it's not waiting. Well, it is waiting. While we're waiting, I'm going to download those prior 3 videos that were made by the Hailuo AI, and I'm going to stitch them together. 3, 1, 2, 1. 1, 1. And I'm going to take those into Final Cut Pro. And I'm going to rein in my speech patterns for that. I'm going to scoop myself over the tiniest bit so I'm not like cut off as much. Now I'm just this tiny little thing in the corner. Okay. I'm going to open a new project that is a vertically oriented video. This is actually the right resolution because what we're going to be working with are about that size. It was like 720 by 1280. So I'm going to click and drag these three. I'm going to click and drag these three into my timeline. And I think they're already in order, so now we just get to watch it. Notice it figured out rain should be falling. I don't know if I specified rain in my original prompt. Now, if I were really wanting to, I could edit this so that it was a little more fluid, like the way that the bird flew out of shot before it came back in the second clip. Right, coming up. I know this is tiny. Right after this, it leaves kind of the shot. Like I would actually edit that so maybe it would just morph here, and then it would be a more smooth clip. But man, look at this is super cool. Okay, this to me is super cool. It got reflections in the ground of this flying thing, and it looks like it's really taking into account lights and shadows. And I mean, that stuff would have cost render energy if you were doing that on your own. You would have to figure out the planar levels of the floor and do all sorts of stuff. So it's not inconsequential to get this kind of graphics, and I'm sure it taxed a server farm for quite a bit for the moments it was being asked to do that video. So let's scroll through and see if we have a new video yet. Sorry to scroll. Okay, now this one is correctly oriented. Let's watch what happens. Okay, thank you. I'll try again. Oh, you know what I want to do? I'm sorry to do this way. This one was Hailuo Ai 2. And then we'll watch it in concert with Hailuo Ai 1, which may or may not be done. That didn't need to rhyme, but it was beneficial that it did. I'll scoot this over. It kind of looks like it stopped thinking, and it's just waiting. I'm not sure why. Let us look at Hailuo Ai 1 or 2. Oh, there it goes. Failed to send. Try again! And so let's open up the one that did get done and see what it thought of it. Wow, sorry to make this not efficient. I'll probably edit some of this, but maybe I won't. Here they are. Okay. Thanks, monster. You just invented a whole new house to do something with. All right. So it's fine. That was something. Let's notice a few things. Like, first of all, what the heck is going on with that? I think that was its attempt to peek over the horizon and then get bigger. And then a new monster just comes in and is like, no, I'm the monster now. So that's fun. And then he picks up a house. It looks quite a bit like the house at the beginning of the video. So it seems that Hailuo Ai interpreted the concept of this is the context I'm working with. So now I'm thinking as though I'm the AI. So if I, the AI, want to make a new apartment building, I should make it look like this. There should be 3 windows. There should be 2 over, and let's see what happens. And there we go. We got like 3 windows high, 2 over. So you can see it takes cues from the image you give it. And so far, none of these have been doing what I thought. That's not a bad or good thing, but it does speak to the nature of non-controllability of using these kinds of AIs within Poe at this point. If you have a single couple seconds that you want an image to be animated, maybe these AI video models are ideal for you right now. For doing like long form storytelling, I think these are more beneficial for like brainstorming a visual concept and showing it to others, not necessarily the finished product. So that's my editorializing on the current state of these video apps. But this is, again, Poe. We're not talking about like other dedicated video apps. Like I've seen Runway ML, or not Runway, I've seen Runway, which is a video generator based on text and image. And there's a lot of options for giving in an image and doing in-painting all around, making that a video. That's the future to me. Just taking, it's just like generative fill in Photoshop. In fact, that's what I can do right now. I can open the image. Oh, no, our video's done. Let's watch it. Oh, no, let's watch it. Let's download it again. This one's Hailuo Live. And I believe Hailuo Live is the newer one, but I don't know that for certain. All right, let's see what it does. Hailuo Live. Hi, monster. Thanks. You dusted that off so nice. Let's notice a couple things here. It definitely morphs some stuff. I'm not sure why, because it had a perfect photo reference. I guess it just didn't understand how, after a certain part of the scene changed, how to rebuild it properly. It kind of visually hallucinated that building turning into this noise, which is actually a good way to describe a lot of this. It's the concept of a video clip, but it's actually a lot of visual noise. There is some concept that is clearly defined, but the backgrounds are fuzzy. It's like, this is a dreamscape I don't want to be in. So, again, utility, but maybe not fully dialed in for the concepts of a filmmaker who wants to make a whole movie with these tools, at least not today. James Cameron begs to differ. I think he committed to something in Stability AI, or Stable Diffusion, one of those two, I'm not sure, who basically, I don't know the rest of it. I hope this was a good video for watching and enjoying and learning, because I think this was about Poe's video generation capabilities. That's what I'm going to retroactively title it. So, thanks for joining me.